All right. So how about this? Let's talk about YFI and Yearn. Right. So there's been lots of
Mhm.
interest in Yearn Finance. Andre Cronje, actually, surprisingly, he did ping me early in the year telling me about his project, but I thought it was just like some project. I mean, I had no idea it would blow up into where it is now, where it's now top 25 market cap. It had at one point it had over $1 billion in market cap. I mean, this is really becoming kind of like the Bitcoin of DeFi.
Yes.
So is anybody in it? Anybody with any comments or thoughts on Yearn Finance?
I actually I've been making token top altcoin videos using Token Metrics, and I made one last week where I think it was like YFI and Yearn Finance were highly recommended on there. So I put those in a video, and they blew up right afterwards. And I was like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
accurate.
I was doing TA at like 9K and I was like, this is crazy, but it's just going to go higher. I don't see it stopping because the supply is so low and there's so much interest. And they're not just building like and stopping. And the fact that this founder, Andre didn't even keep any for himself, which is crazy to me. He built it and he was like, this is for the community, which is kind of the whole idea with crypto in itself. It's for the community. It's for changing the world that we live in. It's to make things fair and get rid of the old legacy system that doesn't really work, but they're trying to make work still. So, I really do appreciate what he's done. The copies, I'm not too sure how those are going to do long term, but Yearn Finance with having insurance, and then now the big thing is the NFTs, which is something that we haven't talked about yet. I believe NFTs are going to be the next DAO or whatever. We have all these DAOs going up. I think Yearn Finance and NFTs and stuff, those are going to start to become more prevalent. And also, if you guys noticed, PokeSwap just did a bunch of NFTs and gave away PokeSwap within the NFT. You can get 100 PokeSwap by buying them, and they
Wait,
sold
what?
out like yeah.
PokerSwap? Mikado?
Yeah,
The exchange? The DEX?
Mikado, he did buy this NFT and you get 100 PokeSwap tokens and they sold out like within a few hours. And
Wait,
I think it
so
was
they're
like
already selling tokens? Oh man,
I think
where
it's
have
like
I
being
been?
traded in. Yeah, I don't know.
I end up
I don't
playing
know.
Mikado ASAP.
Right. So they were like, Taylor messaged me. He's like, hey man, look at this. You can buy this card for 0.7 ETH and you get 100 PokeSwap tokens. And I was like, that doesn't sound like a great deal, but maybe the NFT is going to be worth something later too, because as a collector's item. So this is something that I'm starting to see pop up. And I mean, if you guys have been looking at like Rari, it's been just blowing up as well. I think that's going to go through a hype and dump cycle, and then we'll figure it out. But yeah, NFTs seem to be another thing that's coming up a lot.
Okay. How about you, Bill? How about maybe checking the TA on Yearn, YFI?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So on
Ooh, what a tree
Yearn,
trace, nice.
right? All right. So on kind of a fundamental basis, what does crypto need, right? It needs more credible ideas, more credible projects, and more credible names, right? Like, things that one day, the common man will know. I think, Wi-Fi is set up to become one of those marquee names. And the more of those names crypto has, the better it is for the system. Now, I like to do GAN work because it's great for wild markets, right? Wi-Fi kind of goes up here and hits this point, and it feels like somebody big who has had this, or some big player kind of ran it up and then dropped it. Okay, kind of like big hedge funds used to do in the 80s. All right, now this candle here, where they seem to be coming in and buying a dip on the old highs. Okay, it means that people are just watching this chart. People want to get in, okay? And even if crypto gets, they kind of smack the market around a little bit, this coin does have room to correct to say 25,000, but it's kind of like Chainlink. Are you really going to get in front of this thing, right? Like, if we're in what you call a macro bull market in crypto, where, you know, after we get done with a bad September, everything's going up. You know, don't FOMO into this thing, because, you know, FOMO doesn't work, as we've discussed. But, you know, this thing is making pictures on charts. It feels like Chainlink 2 months ago, where, yeah, they run it up and then they drop it, but then there's people there who are looking to get in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Bill.
It's the new hot thing. I'm seeing that it's going to probably come down a little bit further, probably to 330,000 again before it bounces and really goes up higher. That's what I'm looking at right now.
You want to pull that up as well?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm looking at similar levels, but again, when we pull, like, this is like such a magnet to price. You see it happen over here where, you know, our Kijin's flat and it's gone so far beyond it, overshoots it, and it pulls it back down. Then we get below it and it pulls it back up. And now we've gone really far and overshot it almost the same amount as here. And so we might hold this 21-day EMA, but I don't think we will. I think we'll dump. If Bitcoin dumps, we'll come back down to 30,000, and that will bounce again and go next to the next level higher. We'll see, you know, something like this, and then we'll come up and make another higher high. It hasn't been around long enough, in my opinion. This is when I was looking at it way back in the day, at like 13, 14,000, telling people it's going to break out and go higher. They had no idea how much higher it was going to go, but it's been impressing. I think anyone who's in TA, anyone who's been in this market, it's just been like, where is this thing going next? Because it's interesting, but that level will probably come down and tap at some point. It might not be right now, looking at a 4-hour chart, you know, but I think it will come down in the next week or two. If Bitcoin gets bearish, it could overshoot it. Could overshoot it as well. But yeah, there's also that 100-day EMA creeping up as well. So it might take a few days and a few weeks and come into this level and tap and come higher. And so that's what I would be looking at if you're looking at YFI. Don't be the guy who's trying to get in too quickly, and you know, don't put all your chips in one basket, for sure. Just wait for the opportunity that you're looking for. And I agree with Bill. People are waiting for the opportunity. Then there's some people that are buying it. As you can see from that long wick down, people came in and bought it back up. And you'll see that a lot with Bitcoin lately. It kept getting bought it back up every time someone tried to push it back down. But eventually those buyers get exhausted, and then the market will lose, and the market will come back down a little bit, and then they'll regroup and it will go higher. Because there's people that are selling up there that are looking to buy back in anyways. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
All right. Thank you, Coach K.